Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article. This is an older article from CNET. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So I am concerned, and that'll be the title of this video. And I'm really concerned, but it might not be what you guys think that I'm concerned about. And it's not the network. I'm not concerned about the network. That's definitely moving in the right direction. I'm seeing new sites being deployed all over the US. It may have not hit your area specifically just yet, but I speak with people. I see certain things. I'm talking to people that are actually on the ground deploying this equipment, the tower crews that are under NDAs, right? So they tell me bits and pieces here and there that I, of course, can't share publicly. But T-Mobile is deploying a network that's going to be very respected and respectable, right? Respected by AT&T and Verizon, and then respectable from the consumer perspective. What I am concerned about, deeply concerned about, is T-Mobile's competitiveness, right? They're not competing the same anymore. And that's not to say that they're not going to still grow, that they're not still going to be successful. They clearly are still going to be successful. But recently, we just went through another round of price hikes. You guys see that here. T-Mobile hikes rates for legacy customers. $5 per line, the highest line increase that I've ever seen, coming from a carrier that used to be perceived to be the cheapest. So that's one, right? So was it needed? Yes. T-Mobile has to up the bottom line, as I've said before. They have to remain competitive with the market, the wireless market, right? And we all know Verizon and AT&T are behemoths, right? They have tons of revenue. They tap into fiber owner economics, right? That T-Mobile can't enjoy and still won't enjoy, even after Lumos and Metronet. They still won't enjoy any of the owner economics, because they are only part owner, and they won't, even with that ownership, they won't operate that business. They are just simply attaching their brand, and they will get some money off of it, of course, but they're not going to own the entire thing. So I want to point that out, right? But from a competitive perspective, looking at how the market has shifted, where it's going, and this is just the right now. It could change, like I said in a previous video, but right now, where's the energy from T-Mobile? They're not really competing much. Is it just because they're a well-oiled machine and they know they're going to grow to a certain number every quarter, so they don't have to anymore? It's possible. But if you look at the changes that they recently made, right? Carrier freedom, changing that to family freedom, and they're not even close to giving you what AT&T will give you. 3,200, AT&T doing 8,000. Big difference, right? New and existing customers, any condition phone. Verizon started that. T-Mobile, it affected the business, so they had to add it. But then when they added it, they only added it to the highest plan, the Go 5G Next. So you can only get any phone, any condition on the highest plan. Right? I don't want to say that T-Mobile lost their edge and that they're no longer innovative. They've done a lot for the industry and for the consumer. But right now, that is my concern. I am genuinely concerned. I want to see another Un-carrier type of move. Even though we might not get it, but I'd like to see T-Mobile remain competitive in that regard. Because if not, I mean, it's going to get quite boring very quickly. And we will have more of Un-carrier moves coming from Verizon and AT&T. So if T-Mobile starts losing a ton of customers and they're not growing the same, then they'll act, but they'll be reactionary, right? It won't be something that they're at the forefront of or leading offers in that regard. They're going to have to react to negative impact. That's how T-Mobile is going to move moving forward. At least that's what it seems like. The network is growing. They're adding coverage. They're adding a ton of capacity. They're adding higher backhaul provisioning to sites. We're seeing that all over. They're filling in dead zones or white spaces. The Starlink commercial launch is in July. So they still carry momentum, but they're not as competitive as they once were. Not even close. They're really not even close anymore, as I just said. They are far off. They try to do some things. Oh, we're going to spend money here. We're going to ramp up this promotion, but it's nothing innovative anymore. It's nothing industry shaking or industry different. It's just not that anymore. Now, could that still be the case that they do announce some of these moves? It's possible, right? But for example, Verizon just threw in free messaging. Until it changes with Starlink, T-Mobile charges you for messaging starting in July. And that's just text messaging. You'll be paying $15 if you weren't able to sign on early. And if you're a Verizon and AT&T customer, you'd be paying $20 a month for text messaging. Unless it changes, unless you get data, calling and all that, then of course, I think that even though that, I still think a monthly charge is crazy talk. Verizon just included it for free on their plans. Texting. And that's through Skylo. So yes, it's limited. You can do it on the Pixel. You can do it on the Galaxy. But they added it for free. For me, I think that's a shot at T-Mobile. By adding it for free on their plans, it's a shot at T-Mobile. At least that's how I see it. So that's why I'm deeply concerned. I used to be concerned with the network. Don't have much concern for that anymore. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. It's being deployed. Over the years, I saw new coverage from T-Mobile where they had never had any coverage before, zero. So, and I know some of you guys probably are still going to say in the comments, well, I don't have coverage here. Like I said, it's a possibility that you might not get that coverage over the next few years, right? T-Mobile has their plans. They look at the network now on a weekly basis using the AI tools. So they're deploying where they see fit. That there's something in the system that tells them they need to deploy there, right? Customer focused driven coverage is what they call it. So if they're building out, right, I'm getting sent pictures like, hey, we're on this back road, off the highway, off the freeway, and we're getting ready to install a T-Mobile co-location. And I know the guy that works for the tower crew, like I stated, they're under NDA. So I know of several other areas that they're going to deploy T-Mobile co-locations. They have a warehouse full of equipment, and that's happening all across the country. T-Mobile is pulling teams, tower crews from Texas, and they're deploying them in Indiana. They're moving them to Pennsylvania. They are deploying at a rapid pace. So not that concerned about networking anymore. And I'll even go on record in this video to say that I don't believe that majority of churn or a churn increase is coming from the networking anymore. Don't believe it. It's coming from price increases, as you see here, recently just affected, should go on the bills starting now that have generated in April. That, to me, is more of a concern in regards to spike in churn or churn bubble or whatever you want to call it. Customer service is another one. That's another one that's a bit iffy, but not necessarily because it's bad customer service, but speaking from a competitive perspective, Verizon and AT&T have better offers in the market today. So when you call customer care, they don't have a retention offer available. They do not. they will message you back and forth a bit. We'll see what we can do. You're a valued customer. We'd like to keep you. Let me see what we can do. But then they start knocking off features. They start telling you, hey, you're on P360 insurance. If you cancel that, you can save $18. Hey, if you pay off this, if you do this, you can save some money here. They have absolutely zero retention offers to go to. None. They can't tell you, hey, we'll knock off $20 a month for the next year. Or here's a loyalty discount for the next year of $10 a month. They do not have the ability to do that. So that's going to get people ticked off. They're going to perceive it as bad customer service and they're going to leave. That's going to push them over the fence in many cases, especially as Verizon and AT&T have better offers in the market today. You can structure better deals on either of those carriers today. You can. With AT&T, you can bring more lines and you can get more money for those lines. You can do mix and match, which you can't do on T-Mobile at all, right? So you can overall, if you really sit down, you break it down, you can structure a better price point and a better deal with Verizon and AT&T at any day of the week. I guarantee it. You can go into a Verizon store today, mix and match your lines. Okay, this person can get on this one can get on this one. I can cancel my streaming because I can bundle and save with Verizon and just structure an overall better deal. You can't do that with T-Mobile. With T-Mobile, you have to get on the highest plan. Yes, it's value packed, but you're going to be paying a certain amount per month. You can't mix and match. You can't structure your streaming bundles to save you additional value. You just can't do it. And 9 times out of 10, with mix and match and everything else that you can do on Verizon and AT&T, you're more than likely going to save money on those carriers now. Even with taxes and fees not being included, you're going to save money more than likely. Not everyone on your plan is going to have to be on the Unlimited Ultimate or the top tier plan for both of those carriers. Not everybody on your plan needs Turbo. So you get you get where I'm going with this? T-Mobile is, and that's why I'm concerned, because I have not seen them move in a different direction, and they're going to be busy for the time being. They're going to be busy integrating Lumos. They're going to be busy integrating Metronet, and they're going to be busy integrating US Cellular. They're going to be busy for that for at least the next 12 months, if not longer. So I'm deeply concerned from a competitive perspective, right? All they're doing right now competitively, they're throwing around a switch and save. They're throwing around family freedom. They're throwing around 20% off of the big guys, right? They're still pushing that. But I just don't even the 20% cheaper than the big guys, I still don't really see that being accurate, right? T-Mobile might be able to give you a plan of their competitors that they're 20% cheaper than, but like I said, you do mix and match, right? All of that is not talked about by T-Mobile. And I really kind of knock Verizon and AT&T for that, because they don't really talk about it. They need to start calling T-Mobile out. Like, hey, we can mix and match. You can choose our lowest plan, middle plan, high plan. However you see fit, you can choose options. It's what T-Mobile doesn't have. You're either on the lowest or you're on the highest. I don't even think T-Mobile really has a middle plan. You either go high or you go low. So it'll be interesting to keep track, but that's what I'm concerned about. The network, not so much. I see that heading in the right direction, and I know most of you have seen the same thing, right? It's heading in the right direction. Still has some tweaks and stuff to do, of course, but it's heading in the right direction. But the competitive side of T-Mobile, it's, in my view, currently it's quite lackluster. So let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.